The historic 7th Summit of the Americas came to a close Saturday with the majority of the leaders of the region agreeing on condemning U.S. aggressions against Latin America and in solidarity with Venezuela. President Barack Obama defended his government's position regarding human rights in the region, but was slammed by most of his colleagues. They criticized Washington for its double morale regarding human rights and for its interventionist policies around the world. The attendance of President Raul Castro marked the first time a Cuban leader was present at the summit. He called for the lifting of the U.S. blockade, but also expressed his solidarity with Venezuela.
Esteemed colleagues, Venezuela isn't nor could be a threat to the national security to a superpower like the United States. It is positive the United States President has recognized us. I should reaffirm all of our support in a resolute manner to the sister Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and to the legitimate government that is led by President Nicolás Maduro, and to the Bolivarian Chavista people who fight to continue on their own path and confront threats of destabilization and unilateral sanctions that we demand be lifted, that the executive order withdrawn. To this date, the commercial, economic, and financial blockade continues to be applied in all its intensity against the island. It causes harm to the people, and it is an essential obstacle against our economic development. It constitutes a violation of international law, and its reaches affects the interests of all countries. It is not coincidental the unanimous vote against the blockade, almost unanimous, not including Israel and the United States, at the United Nations during all these years.
Now the American empire makes use of human rights, like Obama respects the human rights in the United States. Let's talk about Cuba, for instance. The economic blockade is a demonstration of how not to respect not only the rights of an individual, but the collective rights of an entire nation.
Ecuadorian President Rafael Correa harshly criticized the United States for using human rights issues to falsely justify interventionist measures against the sovereignty of Latin America and Caribbean nations. Correa said that in Ecuador, torture and the death penalty do not exist as they do in the United States. He also said that Obama's executive order against Venezuela flagrantly violates international law. Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff said her country rejects U.S. sanctions on Venezuela and called for dialogue. She said that the moment of hemispheric relationships doesn't need unilateral measures and politics of isolation such as the ones being imposed by the United States. Rousseff added that Obama's order on Venezuela is counterproductive and inefficient. She also called on Washington to put an end to the more than 50-year blockade against Cuba and emphasized the right of each country to self-determination. Argentine President Cristina Fernandez spoke out in support of Cuba and Venezuela during her address before the 34 other region's leaders present at the Summit of the Americas. She agreed with the numerous other presidents who refused to pander to Obama. Fernandez called the U.S. sanctions on Venezuela ridiculous. Fernandez also took the chance to condemn the UK for increasing its military presence in the Argentine Malvinas Islands. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro told the Summit of the Americas that he extends an open hand to President Obama in order to resolve their differences. But Maduro warned Obama against interfering in each other's internal affairs. He told the U.S. president he had over 11 million signatures demanding that he repeal his recent decree against Venezuela, saying that it is irrational and disproportionate. Maduro also expressed his lack of confidence in Obama.
I want to believe you, but I don't trust you. I respect you, but I don't trust you, President Obama. If you're willing, we'll talk, but if you don't want to talk, that's fine. It will be your legacy with Venezuela. The order, the silence, the predominance. I have said it several times, President Obama. Don't let things happen as they did with George W. Bush, who supported the coup against Commander Chavez. History should go another way. I extend my hand, President Obama, so that we can talk and resolve the issues we have to resolve between the United States of North America and Venezuela in peace.
During his speech at the Summit of the Americas, Obama addressed a variety of issues, including bilateral relations with Cuba and human rights. He claimed the U.S. was committed to, quote, building a new era of cooperation between countries. He also said that the U.S. would continue to promote the human rights throughout the region. Obama admitted that the application by the United States of human rights has not always been congruent, and he has assured that he was very aware of the fact that there are dark chapters in the history of his country. He then said Washington is seeking a new relationship with Cuba.
Now, this shift in U.S. policy represents a turning point for our entire region. The fact that President Castro and I are both sitting here today marks a historic occasion. It is the first time in more than half a century that all the nations of the Americas are meeting to address our future together. I think it's no secret, President Castro, I'm sure, would agree that there will continue to be significant differences between our two countries.